Good day everyone, this is Ella Candy, the Group 3 leader, and today we are going to discuss about the ozone layer. Before we proceed, let's have an overview of what is the ozone layer. The ozone layer is a region of Earth's stratosphere containing a high concentration of ozone molecules. It plays a crucial role in absorbing the majority of the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation, protecting life on Earth from its damaging effects. This layer is located approximately 10 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface and is essential for maintaining life as we know it. However, human activities have led to the depletion of ozone, particularly due to the release of chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs and other ozone-depleting substances into the atmosphere. This depletion has caused concern over increased UV radiation reaching the Earth's surface, leading to health risks such as skin cancer, cataracts, and harm to marine ecosystems. International efforts, including the Montreal Protocol, have been made to address this issue and mitigate ozone depletion by phasing out the production and use of ozone-depleting substances. Now that we have an overview of what the ozone layer is, now let's proceed on the Earth's atmosphere and understanding the ozone depletion that will be discussed by Doc Villanueva and Dr. Tolentino. Doctors?
Now, let's proceed to the layer of Earth atmosphere. The atmosphere consists of 5 layers: the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Each layer has its own characteristic. For example, the troposphere is where most weather events occur. The stratosphere contains the ozone layer, which protects us from the harmful UV radiation. The mesosphere is where meteors burn up upon entering Earth's atmosphere. The thermosphere is responsible for the northern and southern lights. The exosphere is the outermost layer where satellites orbit.
Good morning, Dr. Cos, and to my fellow doctors. I am Justin Tolentino, and I will be reporting what is ozone layer. What is ozone layer? The ozone layer is vital for protecting life on Earth from harmful UV radiation. This presentation will explore the importance of preserving the ozone layer and the global efforts to address this critical environmental issue. Ang ozone layer ay isa sa mahalagang parte ng ating atmosphere because it will protect us from the sunlight, which is called UV radiation. UV radiation is not good in our skin and it may cause some skin disease. If you can observe in our season, kapag mainit na ang panahon or El Nino na, sobrang init, and it's because there is something wrong with our atmosphere. Unti-unti nang nasisira ang atmosphere dahil din sa polusyon na dulot ng mga tao, ng mga sasakyan at ng iba pa. Kaya paglalabas tayo na sobrang init, piniprescribe ng mga dermatologists na maglagay tayo ng sunscreen to protect our skin in UV radiation. It is not just having a skin disease because of UV radiation, also magkakaroon din ng malawakang tagtuyot, mamamatay ang mga halaman at ang mga hayop at nangyayari na po ito sa ibang bansa. Ozone layer ang nag-a-absorb ng sun's ultraviolet radiation kapag wala ito at nagdire-diretso ito sa atin at sa mga halaman, sa mga hayop, may possibility ito na mamatay agad. Kung sa tao nga hindi matiis ang init, how much more pa sa mga halaman o sa mga hayop. Mahalaga ang ozone layer and later on, mas ma-elaborate pa natin kung anong kahalagahan ng ozone layer.
Good day, this is Dr. Genevieve Ramos. Today we're gonna talk about the importance of ozone layer and its role. Ano nga ba ang role ng ozone layer at bakit nga ba ito mahalaga? Sabi dito, life on Earth is protected by the ozone layer. The sun has extremely important influences on our planet. It drives weather, ocean currents, seasons, and climate and makes plant life possible through photosynthesis. Kapag walang light at init na nanggagaling sa sun, life on Earth would not exist. Ang init din na nanggagaling sa araw ay pinagkukunan ng mga tao ng vitamin D. Pero may kasabihan nga na anumang sobra ay nakakasama. Too much exposure and too much heat from the sun and the UV radiation from the sun can cause various issues such as sunburn, dehydration, heat stroke, and even long-term skin damage like premature aging and an increased risk of skin cancer. Later on, my group members will talk about the effect of ozone depletion on our health one by one. Anyways, ang radiation na nanggagaling sa araw, maaari makaepekto ito sa health and environment natin. Kaya naman, mahalaga na mapanatili natin ang kalagayan at seguridad ng ozone layer dahil ang ozone layer lang naman ang nagpoprotekta sa lahat ng nabubuhay sa ating mundo laban sa sobrang UV radiation dulot ng araw. Here are the two types of UV rays na tinatawag. The first one is UVB. UVB plays a role in the production of vitamin D in the skin. However, too much exposure to radiation of UVB is primarily responsible for causing sunburn, skin damage, and contributing to skin cancer development. Buti na lang ang radiation na nanggagaling sa UVB ay na-absorb ng Earth ozone layer. Though nire-reach pa din nito yung Earth surface, pero hindi na ganun kalala ang magiging negative effect nito sa atin because of the ozone layer. The second types of UV rays ay ang UVC. Ang UVC naman, ito naman yung may malaking harmful effect sa living organisms sa Earth and also nakaka-damage ito ng DNA and cells. Pero dahil nga may ozone layer tayong tinatawag, ina-absorb nito yung radiation from the UVC. Kaya minimal lang yung magiging risk nito sa human health at sa environment. Sabi nga dito, UV light, also known as ultraviolet radiation, can pass through an organism's protective layers such as its skin, but ozone is good at capturing this type of radiation. Kaya, let's protect and preserve the ozone layer. Kung paano tayo nito pinoprotektahan laban sa sobrang radiation at init dulot ng araw, ganun din dapat natin ito protektahan.
Hello my fellow doctors, I am Dr. Angel Papilosa from BTBTED 2K FSMB. I will discuss another part of importance of the ozone layer and its role. The ozone layer is a thin barrier that protects our planet Earth from intense heat from the sun. Based on my research, kaya nararanasan natin ang pagbago ng klima lalo na ang labis na pag-init ng panahon dahil na rin sa pagnipis ng barrier ng ozone layer na tayo rin naman ang nagiging dahilan. Bakit? Dahil sa ating environment. Nagiging rason dito ang mga itim na usok mula sa factory, sasakyan, mga tuyong dahon at plastic na ating sinusunog araw-araw kaya't nagkakaroon ito at nagiging resulta ng itim na usok.
Hello everyone! I am Doc Paloma Cristina Yakit and today with Doc Oriarte, we will explain the ozone depletion process. Lately, some of our members tackle about what is ozone layer. So today, we're here to discuss the process. So what is the ozone depletion process and how it makes happen? Ozone depletion process is occurring ozone molecules are destroyed when atoms of chlorine and bromine come into contact with ozone in the stratosphere. Before ozone is eliminated from the stratosphere, one chlorine atom can destroy more than 100,000 ozone molecules, more quickly than it's produced naturally. Ozone can be destroyed when certain substances are exposed to strong UV radiation in the stratosphere. They can emit bromine or chlorine. These substances are referred to as ozone-depleting substances or ODS because they contribute to ozone depletion. Chlorofluorocarbons or HCFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons or HCFCs, carbon tetrachloride, and methyl chloroform are example of ODS that produce chlorine. Methyl bromide and halogens are example of ODS that emit bromine. ODS are released near the surface of the Earth, but it may take up 2 to 5 years for them to eventually enter the stratosphere. Large volcanic eruption are one of the example of natural event that may indirectly affect ozone levels. For instance, the 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo produced significant number of small particles as aerosols which are distinct from the aerosols. However, it did not raise the concentration of fluorine in the stratosphere. The ability of fluorine to degrade ozone is boosted by those aerosols. The stratosphere particles provide a surface that CFCs-based chlorine can use to degrade ozone on. Volcanoes have an influence, but it is in transit. But not all chlorine and bromine sources contribute to ozone layer depletion. For example, researchers have found that chlorine from swimming pools, industrial plants, sea salt, and volcanoes does not reach the stratosphere. In contrast, ODS are very stable and do not dissolve in rain. Thus, there are no natural processes that remove the ODS for the lower atmosphere. One example of ozone depletion is the annual ozone hole over the Antarctica exit that has occurred during the Antarctic spring since the early 1980s. This is not really a hole through the ozone layer but rather a large area of the stratosphere with extremely low amounts of ozone. And that's all. Let us hear Dr. Joanne Claire Uriarte for her part to explain the causes of ozone depletion. Thank you so much!
Thank you so much, Dr. Yakit, for your explanation. And now, before I start, I introduce myself. I am Dr. Joanne Claire Uriarte, and I'm going to explain the causes of ozone depletion. Ozone depletion is primarily caused by human-made chemicals na tinatawag na ozone-depleting substances or ODS. Tulad ng mga chlorofluorocarbons or CFC, halon, unregulated rocket launch, nitrogenous compound, natural causes at iba pang mga pang-industriyang compound. Ang mga chlorofluorocarbon ay mga non-toxic, non-flammable chemicals containing atoms of carbon, chlorine, and fluorine. Ginagamit ang mga ito sa paggawa ng mga aerosol spray, glowing agents for foams, and packing materials as solvents and refrigerants. Ozone layer depletion results from these CFCs reaction with ozone through ultraviolet light. Ang halon o halon flare extinguisher ay isa rin sa dahilan ng pag-asira ng ozone dahil sa lahat ng mga halon ay naglalaman ng bromine na may 40 to 100 times more effective at destroying ozone than chlorine. These substances release fluorine and bromine atoms into the stratosphere, leading to the breakdown of ozone molecules. And that's all. Thank you for listening. And now, let's listen to Dr. Barquilla as she explains the global impact.
Good day, future doctors. I'm Dr. Barquilla Pamela Jean. So let's proceed to this topic, global impact, under the preserving the ozone layer, a global imperative. So let's begin. What is global impact? So kapag naririnig niyo po yung salitang global impact, what comes into your mind po? So sabi daw, the terms global impact broadly refers to the effects or influence of an event, action, or policy in a global scale. In the short term, global impact can be seen in major change or reactions that occur worldwide. This could be in various domains like economy, environment, politics, or social structures. So, ayun na po yung global impact. So, basahin naman po natin itong nasa slide. The depletion of the ozone layer has far-reaching effects including increased skin cancer rates, harm to marine ecosystem, and damage to agriculture productivity. So, global impact can be seen in the rapid spread of information, the globalization of industries, and the ease of international travel and trade. So, kasama na din po dito yung climate change. So, isa din po ito sa big issue in our global because climate change affects health dahil sa mga dumarating pong disasters such as floods, typhoons, or sakit kagaya lamang ng COVID-19 na ating nararanasan millions of people globally as affected. So, leading to health crisis, economic disruptions, and social change. So, alam naman po natin, di ba po, na sobrang nakaapekto po talaga sa ating ekonomiya and environment at lalong-lalo na sa health and technology. Many people lost their jobs, naapektuhan ng pag-aaral, maraming nagutom dahil dito. So dahil dito sa disaster na to, marami po talagang nangyari. So, ayan po. Thank you. I call Dr. Dazzle Maghari for continuation for this topic. So, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barkilia, for your explanation. And now, before I start, I introduce myself. I am Dr. Dazzle Magare, and this is the continuation of our topic. Preserving the ozone layer is crucial for safeguarding the health of both human and the environment. So, dito natin malalaman kung ano yung impact ng ozone depletion sa ating health and sa ating environment. Kung ano ba yung good and kung ano yung bad. So, how does depletion of good ozone affect human health and the environment? Ozone depletion can cause increased amount of UV radiation to reach the earth, which can lead to more cases of skin cancer, cataracts, and impaired immune systems. Too much exposure to UV is believed to be contributing to the increase in melanoma, the most fatal of all skin cancers. UV can also damage sensitive crops such as soybeans and reduce crop yields. Some scientists suggest that marine phytoplankton, which are the base of the ocean food chain, are already under stress from UV radiation. The stress could have adverse consequences for human food supplies from the oceans. So, how does bad ozone affect human health and environment? Breathing ozone can trigger a variety of health problems, including chest pain, throat irritation, and congestion. It can worsen bronchitis, emphysema, and asthma. Bad ozone also can reduce lung function and inflame the linings of the lungs. Repeated exposure may permanently scar lung tissue. Healthy people also experience difficulty breathing when exposed to ozone pollution because ozone forms in hot weather. Anyone who spend time outdoors in the summer may be affected, particularly children, outdoor workers, those with chronic health conditions, and people exercising. Millions of Americans live areas where the national ozone health standards are exceeded. The EPA and designated over 300 countries of the United States clustered around the most heavily populated areas, especially in California and Northeast. As failing to comply with the national ambient air quality standards, Nashville, Chattanooga, and Johnson City, Kingsport, Bristol area all have agreements with EPA to meet national ozone standards. Ground level or bad ozone also damages vegetation and ecosystems. It leads to reduced agricultural crop and commercial forest yields, reduced growth and survivability of tree seedlings, and increased susceptibility to diseases, pests, and other stresses such as harsh weather. In the United States alone, ground level ozone is responsible for millions of burials and reduced crop production each year. Ground level ozone also damages the foliage of trees and other plants, affecting the landscape of cities, national parks, and forests and recreation areas. What can I do about high altitude good ozone? First, protect yourself against sunburn. When the UV index is high or very high, limit outdoor activities between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. When the sun is most intense, 20 minutes before going outside. Liberally apply a broad spectrum sunscreen with a sun protection factor or SPF of at least 15. Reapply every 2 hours or after swimming or sweating. Second, use from refrigerant and air conditioning and refrigeration equipment. Make sure technicians that work on your air conditioner or refrigerator are certified. to recover the refrigerant. Repair leaky air conditioning units before refilling them. What can I do about ground level bad ozone? First, check the air quality forecast in your area. At times when the air quality index or AQI is forecast to be unhealthy limit physical exertion outdoors. In many places, ozone peaks and mid-afternoon to early evening. Change the time of day of strenuous outdoors activity to avoid these hours or reduce the intensity of the activity. Second, help your local electric utilities reduce ozone air pollution by conserving energy at home and the office. Consider setting your thermostat a little higher in the summer and a little lower in the winter. Participate in your local utilities, load sharing and energy conservation programs. Third, reduced air pollution from cars, trucks, gas-powered lawn and gardening equipment, boats and other engines by keeping equipment properly tuned and maintained. During the summer, fill your gas tank during the cooler evening hours and be careful not to spill gasoline. Reduce driving, carpool, use public transportation, walk or bicycle to reduce the ozone pollution, especially on hot summer days. And that's all. The next, I call Dr. Robalyn Sinangote for the next topic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maghari, for your explanation. And now, before we start, I introduce myself. I am Dr. Robin Sinangote, and I'm going to explain the causes of ozone depletion. First, skin cancer. UV radiation exposure is the significant risk factor for melanoma, squamous cell carcinoma, and basal cell carcinoma, among other types of skin cancer. Skin cancer, the abnormal growth of skin cells most often develop on skin exposed to the sun, but this commonly form of cancer can also occur on areas of your skin not ordinarily exposed to the sunlight. Yun nga, meron yung tatlong major types of skin cancer. Yung una is basal cell carcinoma. Basal cell carcinoma is the most commonly cancer in the human. Then the second most commonly formed skin cancer, squamous cell carcinoma, is caused by the cumulative exposure of skin to UV light. Then the third is melanoma, is the kind of skin cancer that starts in melanocytes. Melanocytes are cells that make the pigment that gives skin its color. The pigment is called melanin. This show melanoma cells extending from the surface of the skin into the deeper skin layers. Then, pagtapos ng skin cancer, meron din tayong eye damage na consequences sa ozone depletion. Eye damage, UV radiational, can also harm the eye, leading to disorders including cataracts, pterygium, a growth on the surface of the eye, and other issues. Ano nga ba yung cataracts? Ang cataracts and blindness are among the most commonly eye disease associated with further ozone layer depletion and increased by UVB at the Earth's surface. Increased level of UVB radiation increase likelihood of adverse eye condition. Ito naman yung nakikita sa mata natin na parang lens siya sa ating mata. Then the next effect on the respiratory system na isa din sa consequences ng ozone depletion. Ozone depletion can change air quality and atmospheric circulation pattern, which may have an indirect impact on the respiratory system. It can worsen bronchitis, emphysema, and asthma. Bad ozone also can reduce lung function and inflame the lining of the lungs. Repeated exposure may permanently scar lung tissue. Healthy people also experience difficult breathing when exposed to ozone pollution. Ozone can damage the tissue of the respiratory tract, causing inflammation and radiation and result of the symptoms ng mga siguro pag-ubo, pananakit ng dibdib, at paglala ng mga sintomas na pwede pang mangyari. And another explanation of health consequences of ozone depletion will discuss by Dr. Romeo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sinanggote. But before I start, I'd like to introduce myself first. I am Dr. Regeline Romeo, and here's another explanation of ozone depletion consequences that can also cause skin aging very quickly. UV rays quicken the aging process of the skin, causing wrinkles, age spots, and elasticity loss. Because all sunlight contains some UVB, even with normal stratospheric ozone levels. It is always important to protect your skin and eyes from the sun. Understanding sun safety is necessary to protect yourself and others from health effects related to UV radiation. And the last one is the photosensitivity reaction. When you expose to UV radiation, certain people may develop photosensitivity reactions. Exposure to sunlight can be enjoyable, but too much can be dangerous. Overexposure to ultraviolet or UV radiation from the sun can result in a painful sunburn. It can also lead to more serious health problems. And that is all.
So what are the effects of ultra radiation in our uh, Earth? So once po na nagkaroon po ng ultraviolet radiation sa atin, malaking epekto po ito sa sa ating mga human, at the same time sa ating mga kapaligiran. As well dyan, mga halaman and other animals, kasi yung mga kanilang activities or kanilang mga ginagawa sa ating ecosystem na naitutulong nila is magkakaroon po ng malaking epekto. Dahil po sa sobrang init na mararamdaman po nila, is magkakaroon po ng tagtuyot, maraming firegrass na mangyayari dahil po sa ultraviolet radiation po natin. At the same time, mababawasan na rin po ang ating mga supply ng pagkain dahil nga po sa UV radiation sa atin. Dahil din po dyan, hindi na magiging balance ang ating ecosystem. Mas maraming buhay po ang maaaring mawala at masira dahil po sa UV or ultra radiation. So, ganun din po sa ating katubigan na kung saan is maaaring masira ang half or kalahating resources natin dito sa mundo na nagmumula sa ating mga marine ecosystem. Una na dyan is coral reef, fish, larvae, photoplankton at zooplankton. Isa sa mga mga creatures natin sa ilalim ng dagat na maaapektuhan nito. At the same time, ganin din po yung marine ecosystem natin na maaaring masira at magbago dahil sa UV radiation na po ito. At the same time, mabibreak din po nito yung ability na magkaroon pa ng mga other species na maaaring mabuo because of the UV radiation. At the same time, DNA hinder photosynthesis and interfere with the growth of reproduction of marine life. So mababawasan na po ang mapuproduce ng ating mga marines ecosystem or yung ating mga isda at mga other species na nakatira sa ating karagatan.
Thank you, Dr. Mario Arroyo, for discussing the effects of ozone depletion on our environment. So, what will we do to preserve the ozone layer? Are there any ways to our protocol to protect it? Yes, we have a protocol to preserve the ozone layer, and this was called the Montreal Protocol. When we say Montreal Protocol, it is a global agreement to maintain Earth's ozone layer by gradually eliminating substances that deplete the ozone layer. Ozone depleting compounds are to be produced and consumed in accordance with the Spaced Out Plan. It is signed in 1987. The historic agreement came into effect in 1989. The protocol's parties gather once a year to make decisions intended to guarantee the agreement's effective execution. Among them are the 6 changes or improvements made to protocol since its creation.
International collaboration. International collaboration is key to addressing the global challenge of ozone depletion through information sharing, technology transfer, and financial support. Nations can work together to accelerate the phase out of ozone depletion, substance, and promote sustainable alternatives. Second slide is about educational initiative. Educational program and outreach effort are essential in raising awareness about the importance of ozone layer preservation. School curricula, community workshops, and public service campaign play a crucial role in furthering environmental stewardship. Future prospect: advancement in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and green technologies offer promising prospect for reducing environmental harm and promoting ozone layer recovery. Embracing this innovation is essential for securing a sustainable and healthy future for all.
Thank you, Dr. Beltran, for discussing on the ways that we can do to preserve our ozone layer. In conclusion, the preservation of the ozone layer is an urgent global imperative that requires sustained commitment and collaboration. By prioritizing environmental protection and embracing sustainable practices, we can ensure a healthier and more resilient future for generations to come. This is Group 3, and I hope that you have learned from our discussion. Thank you, doctors.